All right. Good evening, cyber friends. This the Middleman coming at you again from back here at Walk Studio B. We want to say we give God all the praise and honor as usual. Give Him all the glory. We thank Him for life, health, and strength. Thank Him for each and every one of you, cyber friends. You know who you are, my inner circle included. We just want to see. I want y'all to look. Please take special notice at my title of my video tonight. I learned this from James Brown. From James Brown. Now, I've told y'all on a few other occasions in other videos and on Facebook posts, I told y'all what my favorite music was. My favorite genre was funk. So by that, you should have known that my favorite artist would be James Brown, the, the originator of funk, the father of funk, if you want to call it that. Whatever you want to call it, James Brown was the one that made it possible. He brought it into fruition. But what I want to talk to y'all a little bit tonight about is something that I learned from James Brown and his songs that he sang. All of his stuff to me was very, very on point, hip, and very hot. And I mean, it was on the one. That remember one. I said that pun intended, but also with facts. The one. That's what funk is based on when you count the rhythm. One is everything is based on the one. The accent is on the one in funk music. Well, just take my word for it and listen to some James Brown, and you'll see you'll get the gist of what I'm saying. But at any rate, y'all, I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking about what's something to think, and I want to tell y'all that one of the biggest things I learned from James Brown listening to his music, it was one of his songs called Talking Loud and Saying Nothing. Yes, I said it. Talking loud and saying nothing. And James was like his partner, Bobby Bird. And where is that? He said, Bobby said, he said, standing right over there. In other words, doing the same thing, same thing, same thing. And he talking loud and saying nothing. Black. In other words, back in the 60s and the 70s, y'all, we had this thing going around talking about black power. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't act dumb now. And throwing the fist up, the balled up fist. And James Brown said, you're throwing the fist up with the one hand and you're putting the other one in your pocket. That ain't gonna do it. And so I'm just gonna tell it like it is, y'all. Y'all know that already. He said, after the protesting in the margin, what you gonna do? James asked us the question. After all the protesting in the margin, you still got to know where you're going. You understand what I'm saying? James taught me when I heard that was a lyric in the song, talking loud and saying nothing. In other words, that was part of the rap in that music. See, in other words, y'all didn't know James Brown know how to rap, did you? That's where the rappers get theirs from. Hey, you see, in other words, if you don't know where you come from, you can't know where you are or where you're going. This is what I'm trying to get everybody to see. It ain't, like James said in the song, it ain't about black and white. It's right. In other words, let's stop worrying about everything. We got some people want to bring everything and they want to make it racist. Everything ain't about race, y'all. But it's about doing what's right. In this life, nothing is very easy that's going to be worthwhile. It's never come easy. I know that for a fact. Not only myself, it's a lot of you know that for a fact. You do not get nothing that's worthwhile. It's not going to come to you easy. Amen. Matter of fact, if you look at people that got stuff easily, they didn't keep it long because they didn't value it. They didn't value it. That's how come they didn't. In other words, because it was given to them, and it was something that they did not earn. This is how come you could take a young person that gets an inheritance from a rich relative or whatnot. They'll go through it in a few weeks because, like I said, they don't understand what it took for them. They didn't have to make that money themselves, or You know what I mean? So therefore, they didn't value it. It was nothing to them. So in a few weeks, they'll blow $1 million. You got some people just like that. And that's what I learned from Brother James Brown. And I tell y'all, yeah, James was my favorite artist. I got a lot of artists that I really love their music. Yes, I do. A lot of artists that I love the music. But if you ask me my favorite who's my favorite artist of all time, I tell everybody, I'm not ashamed of it, James Brown. Because I like the style of funk. I love that music, even to this day. But like he said, the man had a business sense too. See, a lot of people don't, a lot of us that call ourselves listening to James Brown don't really know James Brown. The man had great business sense. Yes, he did. You need to read a book about his life. You need to listen to you can really listen to his music. And you could tell the man had a business head on his shoulder. And he was trying to get everybody to come together. You know, we got a lot of people, you know, we talk about Sly and the Family Stone, but Sly and the Family Stone, they was a good group. I loved them. But they were heavily influenced by who? James Brown. Sly would tell you himself. Sly would tell you himself. Most of the bands that came afterward, all of these funk bands, all of them, everybody, they patterned themselves after, really, like I said, the godfather of soul, James Brown, really. But like he said, after the protests and the marches, what do? Some of us are still out there protesting and marching, but we still ain't doing anything. Not anything decent and worthwhile. Why? Because we keep making everything be about race. You see what I mean? We are yet, some of us, we hating the white man. White man ain't got nothing to do with where I am sitting right now. White man didn't put me there. No. I did that along with the help of the Satan. I'm in the condition I'm in because of that. We want to blame the blame game. You want to send everybody back 200 years ago. And that's not fair to nobody. Now, I ain't saying that everything that was done to us was fair, because it wasn't. It wasn't, and I know that. But you cannot blame this. You can't blame people of the day for things that happened in the past. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. But what James was trying to get us to see, even in the 60s, James was trying to get us together. And everybody thought, y'all thought it was all about black and I'm proud, because you remember the song when he said it. It wasn't nothing wrong with being black and proud. But James was also trying to tell us that we all needed to come together. That's what his whole message was about. And y'all thought he was just a funk singer. That's what y'all thought, wouldn't it? But James was more than just a funk singer. In other words, he had a band. He had a band, and a band at that. Maceo Parker and his brother Melvin. Melvin was the drummer. Maceo was the horn player. Though James had a band out of sight. And most of the bands that came after James, they were patterned after his band. Listen to the music, y'all. I mean, we got so many great funk bands that came after James. James was the originator of funk music, but you got some bands that took it to another level. Some more artists that took it to another level that I thoroughly enjoy. Rick James is one of them. Now, Rick James took it to another level. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Brick, Commodores, all them groups, man, them were funk groups. Y'all thought Deacon Walker just read his Bible, didn't you? Yeah, I love my Bible. But I'm also human too, and I'm not sitting up here. See, I ain't so heavenly minded till I'm no earthly good. If y'all know what I mean. Some people will get that on the way home. I'm not so heavenly minded till I'm not no earthly good. I've been there, done that. I done some things I'm not proud of, plenty of them. And given the chance, if I could probably do some things again, I probably do the same thing again. Because like I said, y'all, ain't none of us got it worked out. Ain't none of us got it figured out. I wish we would just stop trying to get on these cameras and act like we are so holy and righteous that we could do things that Jesus did. If you could do so much, how come Jesus had to die? How come that law didn't put you on the cross or me? That because it wouldn't have did nobody any good for me to get on the cross. We all still went to hell, and so would you. So you see, we need to stop trying to be all this here. You get on these cameras and say, they be for real. You ain't got to try to pretend for nobody. Because if the truth be told, all of us that want to get on here and make ourselves look so much bigger than we are, given the chance that we could do some of the things that we used to do, we still be doing them. I'll just tell it like it is. We are not doing the things that we used to do because some of us can't do it. That's how come we are not doing it. It ain't got nothing to do with Christianity. Or you love the Lord so much, and I hope you do. But I'm just saying it ain't because of that. If we could get if we had the chance to go back and do some of the things, if we still had the health and the strength to do some of the things that we used to do, we do it. We are not doing it because we can't do it. So that should make it a little bit easier, quote unquote. But no, like I say, I just had to share that y'all about my buddy. I call him my buddy still after all these years. It really did something to me after James passed and James Brown passed away. And it really did something to me. Like I say, he was a real champion of mine. He was a real champion. I like what he stood for. And not only him, it was a lot of more that stood for equality. And they wasn't about all this race stuff, y'all. We need to forget about that. We can't help what happened 200 years ago. We can't help that. But now, this is not 1776. You understand what I'm saying? This is the year 2021. And we headed toward 2022 real bad. We need to forget about all that past stupidity. It was stupidity then, and it's still stupidity now. And there's even more stupidity when neither side, that's black or white, will not forget about that mess and bury it once and for all. And then we'll learn how to live together in unity. That's what James Brown was all about, y'all. Y'all, I'm telling you, better listen to the man. Y'all think, I mean, you know, hey, I like, God knows, I mean, I like TDJ, I like TDJ preaching, but give me James Brown music any day. Oh yeah, because the message is in the music. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I look for the reviews, but remember, I ain't no sense in emailing me, man, with no bad marks and bad strokes, because I don't argue the Bible with nobody. I just state the case, and I cut the deck at that. You may not like what I say, but you can't refute it, because I know what I'm talking about. And if I don't know what I'm talking about, I cease to keep my mouth closed about stuff that I don't know about. And if all of us would do that, it would not be so much error that I see on YouTube and Facebook. That's all I'm going to say about that. This is Smitty Man saying, whatever you get into. If God is not in it, come out of it, because it's going to come to nothing. Till the next video, next Bible study, whichever comes first. Smitty Man saying peace. Good evening.